A real star system became the alleged home address of the Greys because of one drawing made under hypnosis. Zeta Reticuli is not a fantasy name from a paperback novel. It is a real, wide binary system, about 39 light-years from Earth, made of two sun-like stars. And yet its fame does not come from planets we have photographed, or a signal we have decoded. Its fame comes from a road in New Hampshire, a missing stretch of time, and a pattern of dots. The easy version says this is settled folklore. The believers point to the map. The skeptics point to chance. But the map, the witnesses, the later whistleblower claims, and the astronomy do not line up neatly. And that is exactly where the mystery lives. This is NiKo, aliens. We bring you everything we found. You decide what it means. So the question is not simply whether Zeta Reticuli is real. The question is how a quiet southern star system became the address for modern alien folklore. The story begins on the night of September 19th into 20th, 1961. Betty and Barney Hill were driving home from a trip to Canada. They later reported seeing a strange light that seemed to move in ways an ordinary aircraft should not. Barney used binoculars, according to the later account, and the object seemed to come closer. The couple arrived home later than expected, with a period they could not easily account for. What followed became one of the most influential abduction accounts in UFO history. The documented archive matters here. The University of New Hampshire preserves Hill materials, including writings, photographs, Air Force-related documents, star chart material, and Betty's dress. The Air Force also received reports connected to the case through the Project Blue Book era. That does not prove every claimed event happened as described, but it does prove this case left a paper trail. And the paper trail gets stranger in 1964. Betty and Barney underwent separate hypnosis sessions with Boston psychiatrist Dr. Benjamin Simon. Under hypnosis, Betty produced a drawing of a star map she said she had been shown aboard the craft. This is one of the key details people often misremember. Betty Hill did not reportedly name Zeta Reticuli during the original encounter. The name came later through interpretation. That gap does not erase the mystery. It makes the mystery more precise. In October 1966, writer John G. Fuller brought the Hill story to a national audience. The map moved from private testimony into mass culture. Then came Marjorie Fish. Fish was an Ohio schoolteacher with a serious fascination for nearby stars. Instead of treating Betty's drawing as flat artwork, Fish asked a different question. What if the pattern only made sense from somewhere else? So she built a three-dimensional bead and string model of nearby sun-like stars. The work mattered because a flat star chart lies to the eye. Two stars can look close together from Earth while sitting at very different depths in space. Fish tried to solve that by giving every candidate star a position in 3 dimensions. She relied on nearby star catalogs available at the time, especially lists of stars within a few dozen light-years. This is the part that still grabs people. Fish filtered for stars that seemed plausible for life as astronomers understood it at the time. Hot blue stars, tiny dim red dwarfs, and unstable systems were treated differently from calmer, sun-like candidates. Then she looked for a viewing angle where Betty's pattern might match. Her proposed answer was Zeta Reticuli. Not just one star, but a pair. Zeta 1 and Zeta 2 Reticuli sit so far apart that their separation is measured in thousands of astronomical units. That wide spacing made the pair feel more stable than a tight, violent binary in the popular imagination. That mattered because the Hill map was often interpreted as showing routes, trade lines, or expeditions between stars. Fish was right. The drawing was not random. It was a view of our stellar neighborhood from somewhere near Zeta Reticuli. The claim became famous after the 1974 Astronomy magazine article, often called the Zeta Reticuli incident. Now the case was no longer only a reported abduction. It had crossed into the language of coordinates, catalogs, and testable patterns. That claim entered the 1970s astronomy debate. Supporters saw the filtering as meaningful. They argued that the lines, the relative positions, and the star types made the match difficult to dismiss. Critics, including Carl Sagan and Steven Soter, argued that the match was not unique enough. Their challenge was not that Zeta Reticuli was imaginary. Their challenge was that patterns can appear powerful when the rules are chosen after the search begins. And here is the hinge of the whole story. A star map can feel overwhelming when one match is shown. But the sky contains many stars, and the filters can change the outcome. Later star catalogs also improved the distances and classifications of nearby stars. When the underlying catalog changes, a bead model can shift under your hands. That does not make the fish model meaningless. It means the model is evidence of a search, not a public proof that settles the origin. And then, astronomy added another layer. Zeta Reticuli is real, close by cosmic standards, and made of stars broadly similar to the Sun. Both stars are visible from the southern hemisphere under dark skies, but they are not bright celebrity stars. That quietness is part of the fascination. The alleged address is not the brightest light in the sky. It is a nearby, ordinary-looking pair that became extraordinary through testimony. But confirmed inhabited planets around Zeta Reticuli are not part of the public astronomical record. There have been debates about debris around Zeta II Reticuli. A 2018 analysis questioned whether the signal truly belonged to a debris disk around that star. That distinction matters because debris can hint at planetary material, but it is not the same as a confirmed living world. So even the physical environment remains more complicated than the legend suggests. This is the natural midpoint of the case. We have a real star system, a real archive, a famous drawing, and a debated match. We also have named people, dates, catalogs, and arguments that can be followed. What we do not have is a clean line from encounter to confirmed alien address. Then, decades later, Zeta Reticuli became attached to another kind of story. In 1989, Bob Lazar came forward through television reporting connected to George Knapp in Las Vegas. Lazar said he worked near Area 51 at a site he called S4. He claimed the government possessed alien craft. He also connected the technology to element 115. Years later, scientists did synthesize element 115. The first public synthesis reports came in the early 2000s through nuclear research teams. It is now officially recognized as moscovium. But no stable alien fuel isotope has been publicly verified. The moscovium atoms made in laboratories decay almost immediately. That is very different from the claimed material Lazar described as usable for propulsion. And Lazar's claimed education and employment history remain disputed. Still, the cultural effect was enormous. Zeta Reticuli was no longer only Betty Hill's possible map. It became part of a larger mythology of recovered craft, secret bases, and gray visitors. And this is the deeper revelation. Zeta Reticuli was not proven into the story all at once. It was assembled. A witness account gave the mystery its emotional force. A hypnotic drawing gave it a shape. Marjorie Fish gave it coordinates. Astronomy gave it a real place in the sky. The 1970s debate gave it resistance, which made people keep looking. Bob Lazar and Area 51 lore gave it a modern government shadow. That does not tell us the final answer, but it explains why the address stuck. It had witnesses, a map, a model, a debate, and a star system anyone could look up. That combination is rare. Rare enough to survive every argument around it. There is one more thread people attach to this story. Some ARB-style claims connect Zeta Reticuli with the Anunnaki, ancient creation stories, and Nibiru. The ancient Mesopotamian record does speak of the Anunna, or Anunnaki. In scholarship, they are a group of ancient gods. They appear in religious and mythological traditions from ancient Sumerian and Akkadian worlds. That is different from publicly verified evidence of an extraterrestrial species. NASA's hypothetical Planet X is also not the same as the 4,000-year Nibiru of modern speculation. The scientific search concerns distant objects inferred through gravity, surveys, and orbital mathematics. The Nibiru claim is a modern interpretive layer placed on ancient texts and cosmic speculation. So the Anunnaki thread belongs in the case file. But it belongs with a warning label. The strongest version of this mystery does not need us to pretend every strand is equally strong. It asks us to weigh them honestly. The Hill archive is real. Zeta Reticuli is real. Marjorie Fish's match is historically important and still debated. The criticism from astronomers is also part of the record. Bob Lazar's claims shaped the mythology, while key parts remain disputed. The Anunnaki are real in Mesopotamian religion, while the alien reading remains speculative. And confirmed inhabited planets around Zeta Reticuli have not been shown in the public record. So we end where the map began, with dots, with lines, with a pair of real stars 39 light-years away, and with a question that still refuses to close. This star map reminds us that a mystery can survive because every piece is not the same kind of evidence. But if Zeta Reticuli became the address, the next question is who first taught us to picture the visitors as grays? I'm here to help you know what's out there. Which piece matters more to you? Betty Hill's star map? Marjorie Fish's match? Bob Lazar's Zeta Reticuli claim? Or the astronomy itself? Keep watching the skies.